Hello, this is John Armwood on the Armwood Opinion Channel, and today I'm going to be talking about what looks like impending war in the Ukraine. And the news media is generally not giving us the full story on that, even though the New York Times, I have to give them credit for having an article last week, I believe it was Monday, that really gave some insight into why Putin is doing what he's doing. And it's not all about the Ukraine. Of course, he wants to build back the old Soviet Union, the territory that was the Soviet Union, into Russia as his legacy. But he also has concerns about the United States. And those concerns relate to the American installation in Poland of Tomahawk missiles, which the United States says are there to protect against an attack from Iran. But remember, Poland shares a border with Belarus. Russia shares a border with Belarus, which was part of the old Soviet Union and is just west of Russia proper. And Belarus was part of the old Soviet Union. So Russia feels threatened because the missiles in Poland obviously could hit Russia, and there are no inspections there. So Russia's concerns are not unfounded. So Russia is deeply concerned about that. They've consistently raised security concerns about the expansion of NATO. And remember, October of 1962, I remember it like it was yesterday, and people my age and older remember it very well also. That's when Russia, the Soviet Union, put missiles 90 miles away from Florida in Cuba. And President Kennedy went on television and told the Russians that those missiles in Cuba were a direct threat to the United States, and if there was an attack on any country in the Western Hemisphere, that the U.S. would see it as an attack by Russia on the United States and fully retaliate. My point being that Putin and Russia see the missiles on their border with Poland in a similar way. And remember how we got out of that crisis. We didn't learn till years later that there were negotiations where the U.S. agreed to remove missiles from Turkey. So the news media is not telling the full story. Yes, Russia attacked Ukraine in 2014. They stole back the Crimea, which is an area along the water where Russian czars, where the heads of the Soviet Union used to vacation. They took that area back. And the Ukraine, they would like to have back, obviously. They would like all the former 12 republics that have been part of the Union of Socialist Soviet Republics, the Sovietsky Socialist Lista Czech Republika. They would want all those countries back. But the precipitating event for this crisis seems to be the American missiles in Poland. You don't hear this on the news, but the New York Times ran an article that talked about this. And that's why it's so important to read newspapers and don't rely on television for news. Because television is not going to give you the whole story. They're not going to give you the detailed story. They're not going to have the in-depth reporting that the major newspapers like the New York Times, the Washington Post, the British paper The Guardian is also good for that. So anyway, that's what I wanted to talk about. Have a good day. Remember, resistance is not futile, and we can and will win if we continue to struggle. Alrighty, take care.